Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. We have two bill signings today, and both deserve a significant amount of attention. They are important in their own capacities, and so what I'm going to do is make remarks on the first one. This is the energy benchmarking bill. I'm going to make some remarks. Councilwoman's going to make some remarks, and then I'm going to sign that bill. And then I'm going to come back, and the second bill is regarding smoke alarms, and we're pretty much going to do the same thing. First and foremost, I want to recognize Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds-Brown, who's the chair of the Committee on the Environment, and Kathy Gilmore on her staff, who worked diligently on this. As well, Councilman Jim Kenney, Vice Chair of the Committee on the Environment and a co-sponsor of this particular legislation. Janet Milkman and the Delaware Valley Green Building Council. Janet, thank you. Lori Ackman and the Energy Efficient Buildings Hub. Where did Lori get to? Over there. Liz Robinson and the Energy Coordinating Agency. And right on time, as I go through my notes, Catherine Gajewski, who's the Chief Sustainability Officer for the City of Philadelphia, Alex Dews from that office, and the one, the only, the incomparable Sarah Wu, who is also here, and the first time I'm seeing her since she was away for a little bit. We also want to recognize a number of great groups and organizations that work with us on this measure and a number of others. Penn Future, Next Great City Coalition, the EPA, who is also represented from the Region 3 office, the Institute for Market Transformation, BOMA, PICO, Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission, and the Coalition for Energy Efficient Philadelphia. What a team, and what a group that's here with us today. Of course, you are the folks who make Philadelphia a little greener each and every day, and that much better of a city. Energy efficient buildings are a critical component of GreenWorks Philadelphia. That, of course, is our nationally, if not internationally known plan to become the greenest city in the United States of America. When the city has an energy efficient building stock, its competitive advantages just increase that much more. By addressing energy efficiency now, we set Philadelphia on a growth path for a more sustainable, livable, and thriving city in the future. This legislation is directly tied into the city's GreenWorks plan. Target number 2 sets a goal for reducing citywide energy consumption by 10%. While we've seen great progress, doubling the number of Energy Star buildings over the past 3 years, we need to do much more. Benchmarking legislation is a part of the solution. Building owners and tenants can save money by reducing their energy use right now and also reduce the climate impact of their greenhouse gas emissions. In city government, we're trying to do our part with a number of initiatives related to energy efficient buildings priorities and activities, and those include benchmarking more than 280 city facilities to inform our decisions on energy management and retrofits, starting construction on energy efficient projects in city buildings, one of which is this week, also known as the Quadplex ESCO project, and continuing to promote Energy Works, the regional commercial and residential energy efficiency services, which is a loan program. This fall, the Mayor's Office of Sustainability will issue regulations in support of the legislation that I'm going to sign and work collaboratively with stakeholders, including utility companies, building owners and managers, energy service companies, and green building advocates to ensure a clear, transparent process. Benchmarking building energy use provides a much greater understanding of how to maximize the value of our existing commercial buildings. This method of measurement is already being used to guide the decision-making process for many buildings in Philadelphia. It's an important tool to help us achieve our goal of being a more energy-efficient city. So I'm going to sign the bill, and then you're going to hear from Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds-Brown. Thank you. It's not too good. This is Bill number 10428. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 9, 3400 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Energy Conservation to provide for the benchmarking and reporting of energy and water usage data for certain buildings, all under certain terms and conditions. The bill is signed. It is the law of the City of Philadelphia. So now let me ask the Councilwoman, who is the leader in this regard and have moved this effort through the City Council, and I'm very honored to have the opportunity not only to sign the legislation, but to introduce Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds-Brown.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Moments like this never, ever get old for me after having been here now for 12 years. I do want to thank the Mayor for his enormous support and for your attendance today at the bill signing for our city's energy benchmarking bill, which, as the Mayor stated, will do essentially two things. Tell us how our buildings are going to stack up, starting with the city as the leader, stack up to other comparable buildings when it comes to energy use, and then further provide us additional tools necessary to formulate best practices and figure out even more how we discover a savings. The Mayor has cited all of the thinkers who sat around the table with us. We're excited because Philadelphia now joins a growing list of cities that have already passed energy benchmarking policies, including Washington, D.C., New York City, Seattle, Washington, San Francisco, California, Austin, Texas, along with California and Washington. A number of professionals sat around the table with us for over a year, everybody bringing their perspective to the table to help us come up with what we hope to be a better bill. And those who work with me, or at least know my practice, is that we never ever sit at the table thinking that we know it all. In fact, seldom do we. We rely on those who live and breathe the issue, and particularly those who will be impacted by the issue, to come up with a better bill. The Mayor has cited for us representatives from all those agencies, and I want to thank each and every one of you for working with David Ford and Catherine Gilmore in my office. But I want to particularly give a shout out to Ron Haas and Rich McClure of BOMA, who invited me to a BOMA meeting to share with the members our thinking on this bill, and then sat with us over the year to figure out how we could craft a better bill. So I thank you two gentlemen very, very much. Finally, I also want to salute my colleague, Councilman Jim Kenney, who in my view had both the foresight and the vision, and asked former President Dr. Anna Verna about creating an environment committee. So I'm always mindful that he was a real leader in this area, and seize the moment every time I can to cite his accomplishments already in the area of the environment and sustainability. For those of you who don't know, he established tax credits for sustainable businesses and green roofs. He came up with making sure we offer incentives for electric and hybrid vehicles, and he was the man behind the idea of cool roof requirements for our city. From the beginning, Mayor Nutter, when he was inaugurated, made it very, very clear that he and our city was going to be a leader on the issue of the environment and sustainability. And early on, he challenged us to make Philadelphia the greenest city in America. And then he backed it up with a plan, a written plan, because we all know if it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. And there were many of us on council who looked to this document to see where there might be opportunities where we could work with the mayor on making the Greenworks Philadelphia real. It continues to be a blueprint and a roadmap for all of us who are concerned about transforming Philadelphia into the greenest city in America, and knowing full well that we have to draw on the talents and expertise of a cross-section of stakeholders, including government departments, nonprofits that are represented here today, neighborhood organizations, utility companies for sure, and members of the private sector. The Energy Benchmarking Bill will now implement an online citywide program, which means it's available to anybody who wants to see it. It will be available for property owners, tenants, prospective purchasers, the public at large, to see how energy and water usage can be compared. The mayor and I fully understand that one day, and this is why I care about this issue, because ultimately it's really not about us. It's about our daughters and our children and your grandchildren who we're going to turn these keys over to. And I'm of the view that we don't often get a do-over to get it right. These young people are going to carry on what we have started. They're going to sit where we are sitting, and when we are going to attend to those things we thought were important. They indeed are going to assume control of our cities, our states, and our nations. They're going to move in and take over our schools, our churches, our universities, our nonprofits, and our corporations. So yes, it does behoove us to do our very best to get it right the first time around so that we can indeed hand over a more healthy and sustainable planet. In closing, it was Margaret Mead who said it best. It was not until we saw the picture of the Earth from the moon that we realized how small and how helpless this planet is, something that we must hold in our arms and care for every single day. Again, in closing, I thank you for your attendance. I thank the mayor for being a believer in this issue. And again, kudos to all the partners who sat with us through many meetings to try to get it right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And so, Councilwoman, thank you very, very much for your efforts, for your leadership, for your commitment, and we look forward to continuing a very, very positive working relationship on this issue and many, many others. Let me now ask Councilman Curtis Jones and Fire Commissioner Ayers and his team to come on up. This will be the second bill. Councilman, you can stay if you want. You probably voted for it. I voted for it. I think so. I think so. I'm pleased to be here on this particular bill with, again, Councilman Curtis Jones, who's the primary sponsor, and he, of course, worked with Fire Commissioner Ayers and his team, and certainly Councilwoman Reynolds-Brown. Since the early 1980s, the fire code has required smoke alarms in one and two family homes, and the fire alarm systems have been required in apartment buildings. Also, since the 80s, the fire department has continually obtained grants to purchase smoke alarms and has installed them in homes that need them. To date, the Philadelphia Fire Department has installed 132,879 smoke alarms throughout the city of Philadelphia. And again, I want to thank Fire Commissioner Ayers and his entire team for championing this issue. For the past 2.5 years, the fire department has been installing smoke alarms with 10-year non-removable batteries to ensure that they remain in service for the life of that smoke alarm, meaning that the homeowner or tenant would not be required to remember to change the batteries every year. Remembering to change smoke alarm batteries, though, is a very significant and serious issue. In 2011, 34% of the homes in Philadelphia had no batteries in their smoke alarms, and 22% had dead batteries. This ordinance will improve these statistics dramatically because the fire department will only install smoke alarms with 10-year non-renewable batteries, and all homes in Philadelphia will now be required to have them in lieu of traditional battery-operated alarms. This measure will make the job of the Philadelphia Fire Department to ensure the safety of people in homes and businesses that much easier. Tragedies can be prevented when working smoke alarms are installed. And we encourage everyone, of course, to constantly check your alarms or get these new 10-year alarm smoke alarms. So I'm going to sign the legislation. We're going to hear from the councilman and the fire commissioner. So, come on over. This is Bill number 120278, amending Title IV of the Philadelphia Code, entitled the Philadelphia Building Construction and Occupancy Code by amending Subcode F, the Philadelphia Fire Code, by modifying a subsection allowing smoke alarms in existing 1- and 2-family dwellings to be solely battery-operated, all under certain terms and conditions. This is now the law of the City of Philadelphia. Let us now hear from Councilman Jones, and then we'll hear from Fire Commissioner Ayers. Councilman?
Councilwoman Reynolds-Brown said to me, "You're an elected official when you're sworn in, but you're a lawmaker when the mayor signs a law." Public safety means different things to different people. In my recent tour at the Fire Training Academy, I learned that critical seconds of notification of a fire means the world of difference in one's safety. That it's not just the fire that causes the hazard, it's the toxic smoke that may come from the fire that is created in the couch or the bed that will kill you. And so smoke alarms matter in those critical seconds of alert. Last year, 32 Philadelphians died. 84%, as the mayor said, were in homes with smoke detectors that either were not there or inoperable due to batteries. And sometimes we've all been, well, not all of us, have been guilty of taking that smoke alarm battery to change it for a remote, and it can cause a death. What is equally disconcerting is the fact that in April alone, Philadelphia lost 3 children, 2 mothers, a grandfather, a grandmother, in 3 separate household fires. In all 3 of those occasions, there was not an operable smoke alarm. So this bill is significant. What Commissioner Ayers and the mayor have done over the years is significant. And if we save 1 life with 10-year batteries, as Chair of Public Safety, I'll be happy. So I want to thank the Commissioner. I want to thank Ms. Ramos of the American Red Cross. I want to thank also the Homeowners Association who have embraced this. As my colleague has said, when law works best when we all work together to make it happen in a reality. So if we reduce over the next years the fatalities in the city of Philadelphia, I say, Mr. Mayor, job well done.
I'd like to thank the mayor for all of the work that he's done to ensure that the citizens are safe. I remember him saying when he was inaugurated that he was going to show folks how to do public service, and he certainly has. And in the area of fire prevention, in the area of just taking care of folks, we've learned several things here in the city of Philadelphia. 1, the tragedy of losing a life. And 2, the importance of making sure that we learn from that. So I'd like to say that all of the lives that have been lost, at least since I've been a firefighter, we dedicate this to. We go out when we knock on the doors, we stop and we say 0 fire deaths is the goal. Here's the information, here are the smoke alarms that's going to keep you safe. And smoke alarms is that first leg of that stool of safety. The smoke alarms, 1 on every level, making sure that folks understand the importance of checking those alarms and keeping those batteries fresh. That was what our call was. 2, making sure that you understood the importance of a home escape plan, where your families get together, talk with one another, ensure that everyone knows what that escape plan is. 3, the home fire safety checklist, and that is what we do to prevent the fire in the first place. And 4, taking the pledge, the fire safety pledge, that you would take care of your family. When something breaks down, you have to know what's going on. And this is why this bill is so important. This law is so important, because when you have the opportunity to get the early warning, you can practice all of those things. You can do the education part of it and have another shot at life. because that's what we do in the Philadelphia Fire Department. Without Councilman Jones, without our mayor, without city council understanding the importance of taking care of the citizens and listening to that call from the fire service, saying that we need some help, and then answering that call, taking care of all of our citizens, it wouldn't be a chance that we would be headed towards 0 fire deaths. I believe that is the case. This time last year, 28 people had lost their lives in the city of Philadelphia. This year, we have 18 people. It's 10 less, and we're not sitting on our laurels. We're redoubling our efforts. We're going back out there next year because 0 fire deaths is the goal. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Councilman. Thank you to City Council and to all of those, and to a great team that made sure that this got ushered through. God bless you, and thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
That's a lot of team. Didn't see all you folks up there. We thank everyone for their efforts on both energy efficiency and on fire safety, and want to commend again our two council members leading the charge on both of these efforts. Thank you all for your participation. Thanks for being here today. It's an important day in Philadelphia. Thanks. Bye-bye.